Okay, this is a top 10 list of my favorite theatrically released films. There will be spoilers, so spoiler alert. Some other small notes about this list. One, it is completely my opinion, and two, it is completely littered with Tarantino movies. Okay, starting us off at number 10 is Nightcrawler. This movie was nominated for the Best Original Screenplay Oscar and Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture Drama Golden Globe. I personally love the performance delivered by Jake Gyllenhaal as Louis Bloom, who has social disorders. Though he is not a killer, he feels no sympathy for the victims of the crimes he films. The cinematography in this movie, while sometimes crude and ugly, is mostly engaging with appropriate camera movements, basically focus and perspective. It is also com- it is also with beautiful, desolate lighting. The story is captivating, and it is a film that is almost impossible to hate. Located at number 9 is Django Unchained. This movie is brought to us from the mind of Quentin Tarantino, nominated for Best Picture, Best Cinematography, and Best Sound Editing Oscars. It won 2 awards for Best Supporting Actor and Best Original Screenplay. Fun fact, think of a film award that exists, and Christoph Waltz's performance in this movie won the Best Supporting Actor category. With witty dialogue, great performances, violence, blood, swift camera movements during the shootouts, and plenty of N-words, this film has worked its way into plenty of hearts. My number 8 pick is Pulp Fiction. Nominated for too many awards to count, this film is widely considered the best film of the 90s and one of the greatest of all times. With 2 of the greatest single-scene appearances reside within Captain Coons and Winston Wolfe. Easily the greatest performances of John Travolta's, Samuel L. Jackson's, and Bruce Willis's career, this movie can only be explained by watching it. And after watching it, you will be mesmerized. This is why Pulp Fiction takes the number 8 spot on my list. Gangster classic Goodfellas takes the spot as my 7th favorite movie. Winning the Best Supporting Actor Oscar, this film tells the life story of Henry Hill. With masterful performances from a star-studded cast composed of Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci, Lorraine Bracco, and Robert De Niro, this film becomes the debatable best in the already impressive library of Martin Scorsese. At number 6, we have a 3-way tie between There Will Be Blood, Birdman, and No Country for Old Men. Common factors between these movies are nominations and wins for Best Picture, Cinematography, and Acting at many different award ceremonies. While 2 of these movies give us some of the greatest villains of all time, the other gave us a different look on modern life and some of the greatest film characters of all time. These movies were just too good to beat each other out, so that's why they're all tied for number 6. Breaking into the top half of the list, we have another tie between the 1992 classic Reservoir Dogs and one of the greatest war movies of all time, Full Metal Jacket. One provides one of the greatest heist movies without ever showing the heist, only the aftermath. Fun fact, it also gave us one of the most original and quoted lines. You see this? This is the world's smallest violin playing just full of waitresses. The other, however, showed the brutality of boot camps and an inventive take on how the people fighting in the Vietnam War will never be able to adjust back to normal life. Both paved the way for even more great classics to come, and that's why they earned a spot at number 5 on my... Currently, my 4th favorite movie is the 3rd movie to win the Big 5, The Silence of the Lambs. With the best Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster performances of all time, this crime drama gave us one of the best villains and a very intriguing plot. The performances were so good that even though Hopkins only had 16 minutes of screen time, he won the Best Actor in a Leading Role Oscar and a Supporting Role. This is undeniably my 4th favorite movie. My pick for number 3 is the 80s classic Ferris Bueller's Day Off. With witty humor and one of the coolest characters of all time, this comedy won over our hearts. Clever stories and scenarios turn this simple concept into a cat and mouse game between a troublesome student and one of the most hilarious villains of all time. In my heart, Ferris Bueller's Day Off will always be included with the all-time greats. Once again, we have a tie, this time between Back to the Future and Inglourious Basterds. I feel no need to explain why Back to the Future is here. but it is simply because of my love for the film. So instead I will explain why Inglourious Basterds beat Pulp Fiction. Like Django, it has Christoph Waltz performing as a German murderer. Waltz's turn as SS Colonel Hans Landa won the Best Supporting Actor category at every award ceremony. It is the comedic performances by Brad Pitt and the epic performances by Waltz that, in my opinion, place this film as the second greatest film of all time. Before I reveal number 1, here are the honorable mentions. There are many mentions, so I will not be explaining the placement of each. They did not make it on the list and are not cop-outs for number 2. True Romance. 7. Gangs of New York. Fight Club. American Beauty. The Truman Show. The Dark Knight. 7 Psychopaths. True Grit, 2010. My pick for number 1 is the 1989 Peter Weir film, Dead Poets Society. With an Oscar-nominated performance by Robin Williams, this film won a BAFTA for Best Film and nominations at other ceremonies for the same award. While remaining happy and whimsical, the movie tells a coming-of-age story. Though this seems like a standard film, it tackles heavier themes like depression, suicide, creative freedom, abusive and controlling parents, and the integrity of private schools, and many more. The only true way to understand this pick is to watch the movie yourself, and it is a film that I highly recommend. Those are my top 10 favorite movies. Let me know if there were any of your favorite movies on my list. If you agree, and if not, leave your favorites in the comments below. I'm open to any advice. Bye, and in case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.